It ends 3-1 here in Telford. How do you assess that?
Really disappointing. A no-show first half. Come out in the second half and get right back in the game, get some control, get on top, and looks like we're going to have a good chase to try and get an equaliser, and then try and get something out of the game, if not more, and then shoot ourselves in the foot. And I think that was the story of the afternoon. I can make excuses for the players. Look, you can tell there's a sickness bug in the camp, but I think we're not the only club that are struggling with that, so it's disingenuous to say that is a reason for a performance. You can see we're forced to make some changes. Hayden Carson injured, Lewis Lee injured, and what has looked a really settled team in recent weeks looked unsettled in the first half, and that's on me. I've got to be responsible for that. But you can't make the errors that we make in the first half for the 2 goals, for a corner that you've watched on a screen a matter of hours ago, that you've looked someone in the eye and told them what their job needs to be, and they don't do it, to then give the ball away how many times in the build up to the ball going in the net, have to change shape to be more competitive, have to get a different type of team on the pitch in the second half, do that, get the crowd in the game, and then the 3rd goal just sums the afternoon up. That's really disappointing, and I share the disappointment with our supporters this afternoon.
After positive performances over the past month or so, how do you sort of explain the first half like that?
I'm struggling to, but I'll try to. Look, it's the first time we've lost on the road in the league since the first month of the season. I think that's what makes it all the more, when I mean shocking, I'm surprised. The Boxing Day games are tough. Travelling on Boxing Day is always tough. You'd always rather be the home team. But I just think the errors in the build-up to the 2 goals absolutely take the wind out your sails, take away any momentum. You then look like a different team at the start of the second half, and you've made too many mistakes in the first half to be able to get away with that, and the 3rd goal is inexplicable. So I haven't got the answer for you, and I'm sorry about that. I can't tell you this is what I think it was. You know what I will say? I love the game, and you can talk about shapes and systems and patterns of play. Sometimes, particularly at a club like ours, it's about showing some bottle when it's hard, and you come into a team in really good form that have had some really good results recently, some really good results here, coming off the back of a big FA Trophy win here. We talked about what the early stages of the game would look like and what's going to be required, and that's always going to be my responsibility, but I'm not going to pretend that's about tactics and this and that. It's about who you are and who you want to be. And if you want to be a player in a team or a group that look like that in the first half, that ain't going to be good enough for us.
And a quick turnaround now for a big game at the Diva on Tuesday against Manchester.
Yeah, which is really good, by the way. Hopefully we'll have a few feeling a bit fresher and a bit less under the weather. We won't have either of the 2 injured boys back, and I thought you could see that, the dynamic of 2 players that have played a lot of games recently. It's a different dynamic on the back line. You look different, you lose a lot of speed in losing cars, and Lewis has been brilliant for us, and you lose them, but put some really experienced players in. The other side of it is you've got players, if your best players aren't going to play well and you're going to make the mistakes you make, you're going to be in for long afternoons, and that needs to be a bit of an eye-opener for us, because we haven't felt like this for a long time, and I mean a long time, longer than anyone would probably want to admit. But when it's the bank holiday games and it's big followings and it feels like a no-show performance, that's not acceptable. We, on Tuesday night, against one of the strongest sides in the division, we need to look like the side we looked like for an hour last week, that we looked like in the games previous, the back-to-back wins, some really good wins, a couple of steady away draws, but we can't look anything like we did today. And like I said, keep repeating the message, I'll be responsible for that, we'll come and say all the right things, but that wasn't good enough today, and we need to own that collectively, but I'll certainly own it for sure.